Welcome to HB Reddit Stories. Today, we will see stories of r/am I the a-hole? Am I the a-hole for not bringing anything to my friend's potluck after she told me not to? One of my close friends hosted a dinner at her place last weekend. She called it a potluck and sent a group text saying we should each bring a little something, drinks, snacks, whatever. It wasn't anything fancy, just casual. I asked her what I should bring and mentioned I'd be coming straight from work and might be a little rushed. She replied that I didn't need to worry about it. She had plenty of food and just wanted me to come. So I didn't bring anything. I showed up, said hi to everyone, and honestly, the night was going fine. People brought stuff, a salad, some cupcakes, a couple bottles of wine. I was planning to just help clean up or do dishes since I didn't bring anything, and I figured she meant what she said. But later on, while people were complimenting the food, she made this offhand comment like, well, not everyone contributed. But we're still glad she showed up. Everyone laughed, and it didn't seem super serious, but I felt my face get hot. I didn't know how to respond. I stayed polite and tried not to act weird about it, but I felt uncomfortable the rest of the night. On the way home, I kept thinking about it. I get that maybe she was a little annoyed, but she literally told me not to bring anything. And now I feel like she put me on blast in front of people for something I didn't even do wrong. I haven't said anything to her yet because it feels small and I don't want to be dramatic. But I also can't shake the feeling that it wasn't fair. Am I the a-hole? Top comments. Yeah, not the a-hole. That was quite rude of the hostess. If this is someone you value, I'd recommend bringing it up casually. Ask if perhaps there was a misunderstanding because you thought she said to come anyway. From your description, it doesn't sound like a mistake. Chances are they will get defensive, but at least you attempted to clear the air. If you take a couple days and it doesn't bother you as much, you can decide to not bring it up to the hostess. The good thing is that you now have more information. You now know that you can't trust them to be honest in situations like that. In my opinion, it is unreasonable to expect people to read your mind when you tell them the opposite of what you really want. Like requesting no gifts for a birthday, then pouting. Next story. Am I the a-hole for yelling at my aunt after she kept pressuring me to marry her son? I'm 24F from Pakistan. Here cousin marriages are common, and my aunt keeps pressuring me to marry her son 25M since I was a teen. This started in my teen years. My aunt would start making jokes such as, you'd make a good daughter-in-law, or you and her son's name would make a good couple, etc. I used to brush it off back then, ignore it and such hoping it would stop, but they never did. Instead, it started being more common. She started doing it every time we met, and I've shut her down politely every time saying I'm not interested and it won't ever happen. My mom knew how much it bothered me. She didn't want to disrespect her elders, so she kept quiet and only spoke about it in private when my aunt messaged her. My mom told me to keep quiet and ignore because she won't let it happen. This was very uncomfortable. This whole thing gave my cousin some wrong ideas because he started messaging me in private saying things like, we're getting married in the future, so why aren't you talking to me now? I just ghost him and ignore his messages. Just a few years ago, I lost my temper at a family gathering after my aunt said, you're all grown up now, when are you going to marry him? Our decision is final. The strong feeling of ick and cringe just made me lash out. I yelled at my aunt, calling her stupid for not listening to me and not understanding what no means. I used mild swear words as well, and it was a whole heated argument. To end the argument, my brother had to physically carry me out of the house, where I had a breakdown, and we all just left her house. My mom was hurt by this a lot, and I could feel the pain in her voice whenever we spoke about this. She said she just wishes I handled it differently. After this came a series of unwanted toxicity and drama. My aunt yelled at my mom, making her look like a terrible person for letting that happen and cut off all ties. She influenced mom's oldest sister and brother to do the same. My cousin got married to someone else, and we found out about it through someone else. He got married and divorced just later that year, and somehow my aunt managed to partially blame me and mom for that divorce, even though we played no part in it. My mom deals with her siblings often, and sometimes they drag her into dramas. I've seen her cry in her room alone because of this, and it makes me feel bad. I feel like I should have done better or done things differently for the sake of my mom. All this toxicity and drama would have been avoided if I did things different. Top comments. Not the a-hole at all. Your aunt has some weird delusion that after you say no 100 times, you were still going to marry him. You are your own person and deserve respect. No should be telling anyone who to marry. Heck, you don't have to marry at all if you don't want to. Opie replies. She is very delusional. Not the a-hole. Did your mom really, truly have a healthy relationship with her siblings before this? It doesn't sound like it. It sounds like her big sister was used to being able to mistreat her and your mom would just take it. Your mom is still stuck in the mentality, which is unfortunate. The best thing you can do is live a great life. That will give your mom something happy to focus on and a role model you for how to live differently. Be kind to yourself or to build a peaceful, happy life. Opie replies, I remember it being healthy aside from this all-cousin marriage drama. Mom really cared for her niece and nephews as well as her sister. Next story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to be my sister's bridesmaid because she chose ugly friends to make herself look better? My sister 27F is getting married and asked me 24F to be one of her bridesmaids. I was excited until I found out who the rest of the bridal party was. Every single one of them is someone she's either not that close to or has made fun of before for being awkward or not photogenic. Some of her actual best friends, the ones who she sees all the time, weren't even asked. It felt weird, so I asked her why she picked this group. She kind of laughed and said, You'll understand when it's your wedding. You don't want people who'll outshine you in your own pictures. I just stared at her. I asked, So you pick them because you think they'll make you look better? She rolled her eyes and said, It's not that deep. I just want to feel confident that day, and I'm allowed to be a little selfish for my wedding. That rubbed me the wrong way. I told her I didn't want to be part of a bridal party built on tearing other people down, even subtly, and that she should have picked people she actually cares about. Now she's calling me judgmental and sensitive, and our mom says I'm being too idealistic and should just support her. But I feel like going along with it makes me complicit. Am I the a-hole? Top comments. Not the a-hole. Some may disagree, but I don't do their family, so I must comply even with things I don't agree with because they're family / it's their day. They're saying you're being judgmental, but they're literally making a judgment that anyone else would be the center of attention, but the bride. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my 17-year-old she needs to go to her volunteer job and not no call, no show for a third time? My daughter is 17. She is good in school and working hard. She has no chores or rules really. The one rule we have is that she leave her location on her phone if she's going out. In our country, it's legal for her to drink, and so she goes to bars. She doesn't have a curfew, she just has to keep us updated that she's safe. These rules work for her because she is normally responsible. We let her throw a house party recently where it was supposed to be 25 people and at least 100 kids came. We cleaned up the mess. She signed up for a volunteer job to get into college, and it's every Sunday for 3 hours. She has been doing this since January and already missed 2 weeks. One due to illness, one due to illness from a hangover. She also has left a half hour early every week since she started. This Sunday she overslept, but there was still time to get in, and she said she wasn't going. I told her she has to go. She made a commitment, and that if she doesn't want to do it, she should give her 2 weeks' notice. She said I'm controlling her. I asked how. She said asking for examples is a form of gaslighting. She called me a C word multiple times. She can't give me any other examples of me being controlling, but insists I am. She told me she will never let me see my grandchildren when she has them. She said I've been yelling at her for 6 months and been rude. My husband was in disbelief because he's been here and I haven't yelled at her at all. She then tried to storm out without her phone, and I told her she needed to go to her room, and she said that was abuse. She can talk very fast and confuses my husband sometimes, so now I don't know if I'm the crazy one. I know maybe we should have more rules, but I had very, very controlling abusive parents, so I have tried to be much more permissive. Her side of the story is that another girl who trained her in volunteering said no one cares if you turn up or not, and no one cares if you leave early. But I pointed out the emails from the volunteer staff say it does matter that they are there and attend. She said those emails are none of my business. which maybe they're not, but she asked me to get her the volunteer work, so they come to my email. Am I the a-hole? Top comments. Not the a-hole. Seems her not making it to this job is straining the friendship she made there. She is trying to use psychbabble to get you off her back and make you out to be the bad guy. Probably because she feels bad. In your country, is she still considered a child and therefore you and her father are still responsible for her? OP replies. At 16, she could technically move out on her own. 16 to 18 is a gray area between child and adult. I feel like even if she was 20 and not attending a job, I would have to say something. I think I would say something to my friends and colleagues as well if they were doing this. Next story. Am I the a-hole for calling my ex-wife's new boyfriend names in front of my kids? Alright, I'll 46 meters make a long story short. My ex-wife 40F left me 2 years ago for our next-door neighbor, after I found out they've been having an affair for about a year. We have 2 kids together, 5F 8 meters. Unfortunately, the judge gave us split custody, though if I had my way, she and her new boyfriend would never come near my kids again after what they did. I wish they didn't have to grow up thinking this kind of behavior is acceptable. Anyways, it's been a long, painful process. I'm at my wit's end with this divorce. I'm trying to be the mature adult here, but every once in a while, I'll have a slip up and call her new boyfriend obscene names when referring to him, sometimes maybe when the kids are within earshot. I know it's not the most mature thing to do, but I can't see why I need to be respectful towards the man who stole my wife and broke up our family. The other day, my ex-wife left me a long voicemail telling me how unacceptable it is to call this guy names in front of our kids. My guess is that one of them repeated an insult to her. Our friend wrote to me to back up my wife, claiming that I was being unfair to my kids. Out of this entire story, how the hell am I the one being the immature and unfair? I know I'm not perfect, but acting like I'm the monster in this story seems excessive. Am I the a-hole? Top comments. You are the a-hole. We can call our exes and the people they effed around with whatever we want when there are no children around. But you have to button it in front of the kids. It sounds like you have a lot of grief stuck regarding this, OP, and I hope you're talking to someone about it. But you can't badmouth your ex, or her new man, or anyone else on her side of things, really, in front of the kids, because the kids will have to interact with those people and deserve to make their own opinions about them. If that person is dangerous, you deal through the courts. Otherwise, this is just something you have to live with. It sucks. Next story. Am I the a-hole for locking my room door so kids won't get inside and ruin my stuff? So basically, my 19F parents decided to invite my uncles who live together and their families for dinner. Both my uncles have 6 kids, and 4 of each of their children are in a very close age bracket. 3F, 2F, 1.5F, 1M, 4F, 5F, 6F. Now, I don't mind them coming over, but the thing is these specific 8 kids do not have any manners despite 3 nannies accompanying the families wherever they go, but refuse to correct the children if they are doing something damaging to the house, like spilling water on the floor or breaking an ornament, and instead the nannies are scrolling through their phones while the children's parents are having discussions with our family in the living room. Now, I have a lot of valuable things in my room like my handwritten notes, my iPad, my phone and laptop, which I do not want the kids near as I know they'll cry and ask for it and break it. Keeping them in drawers isn't viable either as the kids open drawers as well. So I simply decided to lock my room so no one can enter and everything would be safe. I told my mom and she had no problems with it. Now throughout the dinner, everything went well until I saw one of Anne's with a buzz of kids carrying her 2F daughter outside our room and trying to open it as she wanted to change her. She called me over and said the room wasn't opening and that we'd have to call the keymaster. I said the room wasn't opening as I'd locked it, and she could use any other room to change her daughter if she liked. Now she didn't say anything, just looked at me a bit weirdly and went to the other room. I know she complained about it because after the dinner ended, my grandmother was not happy with me and said I was disrespecting my uncle and aunts and saying they couldn't raise kids properly and being rude, that they have too many kids to handle and God was the one giving them babies and we had no right to comment about their fertility, even though I said nothing like this. She said my cousins also have a right to this house and to see what's inside the room. My parents aren't angry with me, and think I did the right thing. But after what my grandmother said, I'm still wondering, am I the a-hole? Top comments. Not the a-hole. Tell Granny that rude stops where truth begins. Just because they're in denial doesn't mean those kids are raised properly. Also, next time this happens, ask Grandma if she likes to sign a contract that states she'll personally replace everything the kids break. Opie replies, "Haha, nice suggestion. There would be no use of the contract, though, since my dad is the one who gives my grandma money, and it would be his money, not hers." I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, make sure like, comment, share, and subscribe the channel HB Reddit Stories.